In a world saturated with noise and anxiety, a single word echoes through wellness apps, corporate seminars, and quiet corners of self-help aisles: mindfulness. It promises calm, a refuge from the storm of modern life. Millions seek its solace, practicing presence to alleviate stress. But is this feeling of temporary peace the true summit of its power, or merely the foothills of a far more ancient and profound mountain path? The appeal is undeniable. Focusing on the breath, noticing sensations without judgment, these techniques demonstrably soothe frayed nerves and quiet racing thoughts. We use it to cope, to manage, to endure the relentless pace of our lives. It offers a brief island of tranquility in a turbulent sea. This benefit is real, tangible, and for many, profoundly helpful in navigating daily pressures. But does this focus on immediate relief fully capture the essence of this ancient practice? Hidden within the heart of Buddhist philosophy lies a concept known as Samma Sati, often translated as right mindfulness. This isn't merely about paying attention. It's a specific quality of awareness, cultivated with a clear and radical objective far exceeding stress reduction. It's one crucial thread in a larger tapestry, woven together with ethics and wisdom, pointing towards something secular interpretations rarely mention: liberation. Imagine unlocking not just momentary calm, but a fundamental shift in your perception of reality itself. The original Buddhist path suggests mindfulness, when practiced correctly, isn't just a coping mechanism. It's a key that unlocks the very nature of suffering and its cessation. It holds the potential not just to manage discomfort, but to dismantle its roots entirely. This deeper practice isn't pursued in isolation. It forms an integral part of what Buddhism calls the Noble Eightfold Path, a comprehensive guide to ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. Right mindfulness, Samma Sati, finds its true power only when cultivated alongside its companions on this path. Understanding this interconnectedness reveals why its purpose transcends simple relaxation and aims directly at the transformation of consciousness. To understand Samma Sati, we must first touch upon the foundation of Buddhist thought, the Four Noble Truths. These are not pessimistic declarations, but pragmatic diagnoses of the human condition. The first truth acknowledges the reality of suffering, or dukkha, not just overt pain, but a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction, unease, and impermanence inherent in conditioned existence. The second noble truth identifies the cause of this suffering: samudaya, which translates to origin or source. This source is identified primarily as craving, attachment, and aversion, tanha. It's the relentless thirst for things to be different, the clinging to pleasant experiences, the pushing away of unpleasant ones, and the fundamental misunderstanding of our true nature and the nature of reality. Crucially, the third noble truth offers hope: Nirvana, the cessation of suffering. It states that liberation from dukkha is possible. By extinguishing the fires of craving, attachment, and aversion, the cycle can be broken, leading to a state of profound peace, freedom, and release known as nirvana. This isn't an annihilation of self, but the extinguishing of the causes of suffering, a state beyond conceptual understanding, often described as ultimate liberation and unshakable peace. And the fourth noble truth provides the practical method: magga, the path leading to the cessation of suffering. This is the Noble Eightfold Path itself, the holistic guide mentioned earlier. It's a set of interconnected practices encompassing ethical conduct, Sila, mental discipline, Samadhi, and wisdom, Panna. This path isn't sequential but integrated. Each element supports and refines the others, working together towards the ultimate goal of liberation. Where does Samma Sati, right mindfulness, fit within this structure? It belongs to the category of mental discipline, Samadhi, alongside right effort, Samma Vayama, and right concentration, Samma Samadhi. However, its function is deeply interwoven with all parts of the path. It's the faculty of awareness that observes the mind and body, informing our ethical choices, Sila, and providing the raw material for insight and wisdom, Panna. It's the attentive quality needed to walk the path effectively. So what distinguishes Samma Sati from the general concept of mindfulness often taught today? Firstly, its purpose. Secular mindfulness often aims for stress reduction, emotional regulation, or enhanced focus, all valuable but intermediate goals. Samma Sati's purpose is explicitly soteriological. It aims for liberation, for the complete uprooting of dukkha by understanding the Four Noble Truths through direct experience. Secondly, Samma Sati is inseparable from ethical conduct Sila. The Eightfold Path includes right speech, right action, and right livelihood. These ethical guidelines create a foundation of non-harming and integrity, which purifies the mind and makes deeper concentration and insight possible. Mindfulness practiced without this ethical grounding can become directionless or even misused. Right speech involves abstaining from lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and idle chatter. It encourages truthful, kind, helpful, and timely communication. Right action means refraining from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct, actions that cause harm to oneself and others. Right livelihood entails avoiding occupations that involve harm or exploitation, such as trading in weapons, poisons, or beings. Furthermore, Samma Sati is inextricably linked to wisdom Panna, particularly right understanding, Samma Ditthi, and right intention, Samma Sankappa. Right understanding involves grasping the Four Noble Truths in the nature of reality, specifically, the concepts of impermanence anicca, suffering dukkha, and non-self anatta. Mindfulness provides the direct experiential data, but wisdom interprets this data correctly, leading to insight rather than mere observation. Impermanence anicca is the understanding that all conditioned phenomena, thoughts, feelings, physical objects, situations are constantly changing, arising, and passing away. Nothing is permanent. Clinging to things as if they were permanent inevitably leads to suffering when they change or disappear. Mindfulness helps us observe this constant flux directly in our own experience, moment by moment, loosening the grip of attachment. Suffering dukkha, as we've seen, encompasses not just gross pain but the subtle dissatisfaction arising from impermanence and clinging. It's the friction between our desire for permanence and stability and the inherent flux of reality. Through mindful observation, we see how our reactions, craving pleasant sensations, resisting unpleasant ones, perpetuate this underlying unease. Understanding dukkha isn't morbid, it's the key to diagnosing the cause of our discontent. Perhaps the most challenging concept is non-self anatta. This insight reveals that there is no permanent, unchanging, independent self, or I residing within our experience. What we perceive as self is actually a complex interdependent process of physical and mental phenomena, body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, consciousness, constantly arising and ceasing. Realizing this directly undermines the ego's clinging and the root of suffering. Right intention, Samma Sankappa, the second aspect of wisdom, fuels the practice. It involves cultivating intentions of renunciation, letting go of craving, goodwill, loving kindness towards all beings, and non-harming compassion. These intentions guide the mind away from selfish pursuits and towards liberation. Mindfulness practiced with these intentions becomes purposeful, directed towards purification and insight, not just aimless awareness. Contrast this with secular mindfulness detached from Panna, wisdom. Awareness without understanding anicca, dukkha, and anatta might lead to noticing thoughts and feelings, but without grasping their fundamental nature. It might calm the surface, but fail to address the underlying clinging and ignorance that perpetuates suffering. The insight component, the seeing things as they truly are, is often diluted or absent in purely stress-focused approaches. Now let's return to the samadhi group: right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Right effort, samma vayama, is crucial. It's not about straining, but about cultivating skillful diligence. It involves four aspects: preventing unwholesome states from arising, overcoming unwholesome states already arisen, cultivating wholesome states not yet arisen, and maintaining wholesome states already arisen. This provides the energy and direction for the practice. Right concentration, Samma Samadhi, refers to the development of deep, stable states of mental absorption or unification, often called jhanas in the Buddhist tradition. This focused attention provides the mental stability and clarity needed for penetrating insight to arise. While secular mindfulness often emphasizes open awareness, Samma Sati involves cultivating powerful states of focused calm that serve as a platform for Vipassanā, or insight meditation. Samma Sati, right mindfulness, operates in conjunction with right effort and right concentration. It's the quality of remembering to maintain awareness, moment by moment, without judgment but with clear comprehension. It observes the objects of meditation, breath, body sensations, feelings, mental states, or dhammas, mental objects principles, applying the energy of right effort and benefiting from the stability of right concentration. It is the vigilant observer. A key practice associated with Samma Sati and Panna is Vipassanā, often translated as insight meditation. Unlike concentration practices, samatha, that aim primarily for calm and stability, Vipassanā uses mindfulness to directly investigate the nature of experience. The goal is to see anicca, dukkha, and anatta clearly within one's own mind and body, leading to wisdom and detachment. It's the investigative aspect of mindfulness. In Vipassanā, the meditator systematically observes the arising and passing of physical sensations, thoughts, and emotions. By patiently watching this flow without reacting, clinging, or condemning, the habitual patterns of the mind are gradually understood and weakened. One begins to experientially realize the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and impersonal nature of all phenomena, cutting through delusion at its root. This is where deep transformation occurs. This highlights a crucial difference. Secular mindfulness often emphasizes acceptance of present experience primarily for comfort. Buddhist mindfulness, particularly in Vipassanā, uses awareness to penetrate the nature of experience for liberation. While acceptance is a component non-judgment, the ultimate aim is not just to accept suffering, but to understand its causes so thoroughly that one is freed from it. It's acceptance as a tool for insight, not just an end goal. This raises the question of wrong mindfulness, micca sati. If mindfulness is detached from right view, right intention, and the ethical framework of the path, can it be unskillful or even harmful? Some traditions suggest that awareness without ethical grounding or wisdom might simply sharpen the mind for unwholesome purposes, or lead to a kind of detached indifference rather than compassionate liberation. It might observe suffering without the motivation to alleviate it. For instance, a sniper needs immense present moment awareness and focus, a form of mindfulness, but their intention is harmful. Similarly, one could mindfully observe their anger or greed without the wisdom to see its roots in ignorance and craving, potentially reinforcing these states rather than transforming them. Samma Sati, therefore, implies not just any awareness, but awareness guided by wisdom and compassion. The right aspect is indispensable. The popularization of secular mindfulness has undoubtedly brought benefits to many, introducing them to the power of awareness. It serves as an accessible entry point. However, it's crucial to recognize its limitations and its divergence from the original Buddhist context. Treating it solely as a stress reduction tool risks overlooking its profound potential for spiritual transformation and liberation from the deepest sources of human dissatisfaction. Samma Sati is cultivated within a rich ecosystem of practices and understandings. It involves ethical refinement, Sila, to calm the mind's grosser defilements. It requires diligent effort, Vayama, to steer the mind towards the wholesome. It benefits from deep concentration, Samadhi, to provide stability. And crucially, it serves the development of wisdom, Panna, the direct, experiential understanding of reality that cuts through ignorance and leads to freedom. When practiced within this framework, mindfulness becomes more than just noticing the breath. It becomes a way of observing the arising and passing of thoughts without identifying with them. It involves seeing feelings as transient weather patterns, not defining characteristics of a fixed self. It means observing bodily sensations with equanimity, understanding their impermanent nature. This continuous observation, guided by wisdom, gradually unravels the illusion of a separate, enduring self. This process cultivates detachment, not indifference, but a release from clinging. When we see clearly that pleasant experiences are impermanent, our desperate craving for them lessens. When we understand that unpleasant experiences also arise and pass away, our aversion and resistance diminish. When the illusion of a solid self begins to dissolve, the root of fear, defensiveness, and possessiveness weakens. This is the path towards equanimity. Therefore, the goal isn't simply to feel good in the present moment, although moments of peace certainly arise. The deeper goal is to understand the nature of all moments, pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, and to thereby liberate the mind from the reactive patterns that cause suffering across all moments. It's a fundamental reorientation of consciousness, moving from being tossed about by experience to understanding its underlying mechanics. Secular mindfulness often focuses on the what, being aware of thoughts, feelings, sensations. Samma Sati emphasizes the how and why, how these phenomena arise and pass according to causal laws, and why understanding this process leads to liberation. It adds the crucial dimensions of context, the Eightfold path, purpose, Nirvana, and penetrating insight Panna into the nature of reality anicca, dukkha, anatta. Is it possible, then, to practice secular mindfulness as a stepping stone towards this deeper path? Absolutely. The skills developed, present moment awareness, non-judgmental observation, are foundational. However, the transition requires incorporating the ethical dimension, cultivating right intention, and actively seeking wisdom and insight into the nature of reality as described in the Buddhist tradition. It requires shifting the goalpost from temporary relief to ultimate liberation. This journey transforms mindfulness from a mere technique into a profound spiritual practice. It becomes a vehicle for self-discovery, not in the sense of finding a fixed self, but in understanding the processes that create the illusion of a fixed self. It's a path of purification, concentration, and wisdom, unfolding gradually through dedicated practice and contemplation, guided by the framework of the Dharma. The cultivation of Samma Sati leads naturally towards compassion, karuna, and loving kindness, metta. As insight into dukkha deepens, both our own and that shared by all beings, empathy arises. Understanding the impersonality of suffering anatta reduces blame and fosters a wish for the well-being of all. Ethics, Sila, and wisdom, Panna, thus mutually reinforce the development of these boundless qualities inherent in the liberated mind. So, while the modern mindfulness movement has democratized access to basic awareness techniques, it often presents an incomplete picture. It offers the map's starting point, but frequently omits the destination and the full richness of the terrain. Samma Sati, rooted in 2,500 years of Buddhist exploration of the mind, offers a comprehensive path addressing the fundamental questions of existence and the deepest roots of human suffering. The invitation, then, is to look beyond the immediate benefits of stress relief, valuable as they are. It's an invitation to explore the possibility that mindfulness, in its original conception, holds a key not just to coping with life, but to fundamentally transforming our relationship with it. It suggests a path where awareness, ethics, and wisdom converge to unlock a state of enduring peace and freedom. In summary, secular mindfulness primarily functions as a psychological technique, often aimed at well-being within the conventional framework of self and world. It emphasizes present moment awareness, often detached from a specific ethical or philosophical system. Its benefits, like stress reduction and focus enhancement, are well documented and valuable for navigating modern life, offering practical tools for immediate relief and improved functioning. Buddhist right mindfulness, Samma Sati, conversely, is an integral component of a comprehensive spiritual path, the Noble Eightfold path aimed at liberation, Nirvana. It is inseparable from ethical conduct, Sila, and the cultivation of wisdom, Panna, specifically insight into impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Its purpose transcends temporary relief, aiming for the permanent cessation of dukkha by uprooting ignorance and craving through direct experiential understanding. The scope is fundamentally different. One offers tools to manage the waves of experience. The other offers a path to understand the nature of the ocean itself and achieve liberation from being tossed by its currents. While the starting point, paying attention to the present moment, may appear similar, the intention, the framework, and the ultimate destination diverge significantly, leading to vastly different potentials for transformation. Recognizing this distinction doesn't invalidate the benefits of secular practice. Rather, it contextualizes them and opens a door to potentially deeper exploration. It suggests that the calm experience through basic mindfulness might be just the beginning, a taste of the peace available through a more integrated and wisdom-oriented approach. It invites curiosity about the full potential latent within the cultivation of awareness. The path of Samma Sati, integrated within the Eightfold path, is undoubtedly demanding. It requires commitment, ethical reflection, diligent practice, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of reality and the mind. It is not a quick fix, but a lifelong cultivation aimed at the highest human potential, freedom from suffering, and the realization of profound wisdom and compassion. Ultimately, the value derived from any mindfulness practice depends on the intention and understanding brought to it. Is the goal simply to feel a little calmer amidst the chaos, a perfectly valid aim? Or is there a deeper yearning for understanding, for transformation, for a peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances? Knowing the roots and potential of Samma Sati allows for a more informed choice. This exploration is not meant to prescribe one path over the other, but to illuminate the landscape more fully. Understanding the historical and philosophical depth of mindfulness within Buddhism provides a richer context for whatever form of practice one engages in. It reveals that the simple act of paying attention holds within it the echo of an ancient promise, the possibility of liberation itself. Key takeaways emerge. Secular mindfulness often isolates awareness as a technique for well-being. Buddhist Samma Sati embeds awareness within the Eightfold Path, linking it inextricably with ethics Sila and wisdom Panna. The purpose shifts from stress management to liberation, Nirvana, through understanding the Four Noble Truths and the nature of reality anicca, dukkha, anatta. Right mindfulness, Samma Sati, is therefore right because it is guided by right understanding and right intention, operates within an ethical framework, and aims at the cessation of suffering. Detached from this context, mindfulness risks becoming aimless or even misused, wrong mindfulness. The holistic approach prevents the fragmentation of the practice from its liberating potential. Practices like Vipassanā highlight the investigative quality of Samma Sati, using focused awareness not just to calm the mind, but to penetrate illusions and gain direct insight into the fundamental characteristics of existence. This insight is the engine of transformation in the Buddhist path, leading beyond mere acceptance to genuine liberation from the roots of suffering. Reflecting on this deeper context invites us to consider our own engagement with mindfulness. Are we seeking temporary shelter, or are we open to exploring the path towards the mountain's peak? Both have value, but understanding the full map empowers our journey. The calm found in the present moment can be either a destination or a gateway. The wisdom traditions remind us that techniques are tools, and their ultimate value lies in the purpose they serve. Mindfulness, viewed through the lens of Samma Sati, is revealed not just as a tool for a better life, but as a key component in the profound quest for understanding reality and achieving freedom from suffering, a journey as relevant today as it was centuries ago. Having glimpsed this original path, what does mindfulness truly mean for you now?